Welcome to Sisters Not Saints, the podcast where we offer real-life advice from the sisters you've always wanted.
Featuring two real-life sisters, Kristen and Megan, and two real-life sisters-in-law, Hillary and Zoe.
Sisters not saints. You might think they're saints, but they. Some of them are sisters. Two of them have misters. But there's one thing that's for certain. It's their sisters not saints.
Hey guys, it's Megan.
Hillary didn't like that. It's too high pitched.
No, I just was thinking, do we always do the same order?
Nope,
or
we
do
don't.
Yeah.
So I was just like in my head.
We don't do the same order.
Yeah, we never do.
Who starts?
It's always different.
Really?
I think that most...
You're, I think, always last.
Zoe
yeah,
is
'cause
always
I don't want to
last.
say my name. I hate it every week.
I hate saying my name,
I
too.
hate saying my
too.
name, so I just wait until y'all are done. I go,
Me
I'm
too.
Zoe.
Zoe's always last. Hillary and I race for the start. I've noticed.
Oh.
Interesting.
And then Kristen's just third usually.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Megan.
And I'm Kristen.
And I'm Zoe.
We did it. We got through it.
That's better. We just say each other's names. Oh, okay. Okay, let's start again then. Hey guys, I'm Hillary.
This is Megan.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Zoe.
It's confusing because I was looking at Hillary.
Yeah. I'm sure our fans are very confused.
Things are just getting wacky here as we inch towards the end of our
It's
season.
opposite
day. I'm going to be Zoe for this episode. This is Kristen. Oh.
Go the whole
I'll be devil's advocate.
episode.
Oh,
and
man,
I'll
that would be fun.
be more thoughtful about my
Okay.
answers.
I guess I'm Megan.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Blurt out your weird opinions.
Okay. I can do that.
And I'm Hillary?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's Hillary? Uplifting. Oh, I don't even know if I could fake that.
You have to try. I mean,
She's rooting for you. As Megan. This would be really hard to do.
It would be.
I don't think that... I think I could be Kristen.
You could never.
I think I could.
Never.
Zoe, no. Well,
no,
Zoe,
yeah. Everybody could be Zoe.
Yeah, because here's Zoe.
No, I don't. She's giving the wrap it up sign.
And
Being
here's another
silent,
tapping her watch.
tapping her watch and taking a nap.
Take a picture of the cat.
Say something really funny though, Megan.
This is also
Eat some
what Zoe
candy.
would say. Zoe would say, we're cutting all of this. We're not keeping any of this, guys. This is terrible. Why have you been on this podcast with y'all? But I mean, just wait until our new podcast comes out where
Where we replace Zoe.
No, where I might have to talk the most.
yeah.
Hopefully, it'll just be me saying yes or no to people.
Yeah, I think the format would be...
You interview the guys.
Yeah.
and
Oh, we're
then-
talking about the dating episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the one where we replace Zoe is later.
And I just say yes or no, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back and let you know how the date went. Oh, and then I will have to talk.
Oh, no, we're going to have to go on the date
No,
with
you're
you.
not going on a date. That's so awkward.
Well, no, not. We'd be secret.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'd be like,
no.
we'll be like crawling on the floor.
We
taking
won't go.
pictures.
We won't go, Zoe.
No, we would never do that. But
No.
if we did, we would be like at the table next to you being like,
No, I'm not agreeing to this part of the
over our
podcast.
menus.
with mustaches and like big fake glasses. Oh, it's going to be so fun. So again, everybody, I'm going to remind you, if you have any dating prospects for our little Zoe, email their dating resumes with 3 pictures, 1 shirtless to sistersnotsaintspodcast@gmail.com.
Great.
Okay. So I was talking to our Kristen and our little sister, Jagger, who is Gen Z and in school right now. And she told us something that kind of blew my mind, because I remember when Kristen went to college, we took a college tour, and they, of course, one of the highlights is the blue lights on campus. They really talk those up to parents and families. It's like, your child's going to be safe. If they get into an incident and they have to run for their lives, they just hit the blue lights along the way. And that way they know where, like, security knows where they are.
I don't know what this is.
You don't know about blue lights?
No.
Oh, all over campuses they have.
Really?
It's like every 10 feet they've got
They have them
a
in parking
huge
garages
pole
now.
with like a blue light on it. And at any point in the 10 feet, you can hit the blue light. If something is happening to you, or you're being attacked or something, they're all over campus.
And do people not just hit them for fun?
No,
I mean,
people
I'm
respect
sure
It's pretty serious because it calls the police.
people do,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure that there are and you'll even
dumb
see them in
pranks.
like metropolitan areas sometimes.
Yeah, I think more and more.
Yeah, and like parking garages. They're
Good
in
to
there.
know.
Yeah, if you ever see a blue
And
light and you're in a problem, hit
honestly,
it.
this was a huge thing before
Cell
cell
phones,
phones.
I
So
guess
back
that's
in the
true.
day, like whenever I went to school in 2002,
you know, I
A
mean,
million years ago.
it was way before we all had. I had a cell phone, but it wasn't. I don't know. It just wasn't
As connected.
accessible, I guess.
But anyway, Jagger told us that they are removing the blue lights from her campus. And
have removed
the blue lights from her campus. And I just thought that just seems stupid.
They're still
Yeah,
there.
that's
They're
weird.
just not functional.
I bet they've never been used.
no.
I don't think so.
If you're in danger, you're not running like, oh, tag, blue light, got it.
If they're removing them, that's probably true. They probably aren't being used.
I guess,
until we had this conversation, it didn't occur to me that like when I went, we didn't have cell phones, and now they do have cell phones more.
We did have cell phones though.
We did, but just not.
Or I
like,
did.
Yeah, no, I did too, but it just wasn't as
Yeah.
like you weren't. I couldn't hit the button 5 times and call.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Police.
I don't know. It just seemed like such a...
And if you didn't have minutes or something like that, could have been like not
Yeah.
enough people had cell phones that they could have just.
But do any of us have you ever heard of a blue light situation happen?
No.
I have heard news stories about them. I don't know anyone that personally used one,
Well, no,
but I've
because
seen them in like news
So
stories.
they're probably not used.
Yeah, I don't think
it just bummed me out.
because you have to get into a bad situation really close to that blue light.
and
But
like
they're
in
supposed to be
public, yeah.
conveniently located.
They are,
But that's not where bad situations happen.
Right.
Out in the open.
you know where they should be is in boys' dorm rooms.
Yeah.
That's true.
They
Yeah.
out on the sidewalk. Nothing's happening out on the sidewalk where there's millions of people walking by. You have to watch out for going back to these 2 guys that live next door to me. They had a tally running all year to see how many women they could sleep with, and whoever had the most at the end of the year won. And it was a legit tally they kept. You got to watch out for those guys. They need a blue light.
I guess so. Just bummed me out.
Parking garages make sense though.
Yeah.
But even those, they were like
yeah, if you're going to get...
only on one side. So like,
Yeah.
Right.
And
And
you're
someone's
like-
going to creep up while you're by your car and like...
yeah, it's safer to run into your car and lock the door than to run to a
Yeah.
blue light and be out in the open.
True.
Run
I guess.
into the
I don't
blue
know,
light
They
with
just
your
really
car.
talked those up, and now it just
I
seems
know
like
they
the
did,
system is
but-
failing.
That's okay. We have cell phones now.
But
We've got the
we're
the double,
evolving.
the triple.
But they
You got to
tell you
use
not-
what works.
But they tell you not to have your cell phone out in your hands.
Really?
You
Why?
can have it in your hands. You just can't be on it, is what they
I
say.
guess. Yeah, they
for
say never to
safety.
be on your cell phone when you're like out.
Oh, well, looking at it, that makes sense. That's a safety thing.
Or
But-
talking, because I mean that would be you couldn't hear. That would make sense. But no, you can have it out. I always have my phone out when I'm out in public, even with James. Like I'll have my purse around me, and I always have my phone in my hand so that I can hit the emergency button just in case.
I didn't even know there was an emergency button.
Yeah, if you hit it
if you
5
go like
times.
this. 1,
Wow.
2, 3, 4, 5, and then
You
it'll-
know what? That accidentally pops up for me sometimes.
Yeah.
I guess I accidentally hit it. No,
It
I didn't know
calls
that was a thing.
911.
Yeah.
I'm very unprepared for an emergency situation.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so scared of being attacked. And then I always keep it on me too in case someone cuts my purse off me, that I'll at least have my phone to be able to like call for help or whatever.
You know, it's good to know while I run.
Yeah.
I was running today and there was a big white unmarked van
Oh,
down,
my
you know,
God.
that old road. Maybe I shouldn't say the name of the street.
Yeah, there's an old road near
There's
us.
an
yeah.
old, very small, looks like a dirt road, but it's a real road near us. And there's never people on it, but I like to run on it. And at the very end of it, there was an unmarked big white van that was beat up, just parked. They weren't turning.
And that road
And
intersects
it really
with a
scared
highway.
me. Yeah. And it
It
was right
should
at the
have.
intersection.
Did
You
you
should-
continue to run by it, or did you turn
You should
around?
have a
No, I
plan.
ran past it.
Oh, my
But I went to the
God.
other side of the street
Oh.
and ran past it.
7 feet away.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't just open the door.
Well, they would just open, take 2 steps, and then
No,
just-
I was on the other
They
side of
could
the road. It
turn
would've
on
been
their
more than two.
car and just drive around you off the road and put you in the van.
No, not because I ran.
You ran super fast.
Yeah, I ran super fast. No, because I ran and like crossed the street. But it did scare me. I had my phone in my hand and I was
Okay.
thinking,
You
how
were prepared.
quickly could I call for help? What would I do? And it would have made me feel better if I knew I could press the button 5 times.
Do
and
you
call the
even have
police.
emergency like contacts set up in your phone?
No.
Okay, we're gonna work on that this weekend.
What do you mean? How do you set up an emergency contact?
Because like whenever you hit the button 5 times, it calls
people on your list, and they'll say,
and it calls 911 for you.
Wow.
and it gives your last
Yeah.
location.
And you could even have it set up so if you get like into a car wreck, it'll automatically call like Peter and be like, "Hey, Peter, Hillary was in a car wreck at this accident, and 911 has been called."
I think even falls too.
Yeah.
That
Well,
day you fell like
when-
3 times. We,
When we were on the cruise and I had a couple hard falls, it did. My watch notified me that I'd been on a hard fall and asked if I wanted to call for emergency backup.
right, that would have alerted your emergency contacts.
Yeah.
Or it could have if you said
Yeah,
it
no,
that
it
way.
would. Yeah.
Probably would have been kind of useless on the cruise ship.
Yeah, I think you need to do more to
Protect yourself.
yeah. Hey, cat.
Oh my God, Megan, that's
scared me. I
scary.
thought that was
Sorry,
a
it
man.
scared me too.
What did he do?
I had a nightmare about an intruder coming in my house this week, and it was very realistic.
Oh, yikes. That's scary.
It was really scary.
What did the cat do?
It was climbing the new curtain.
Pulled him down.
Wow.
So yeah, Hillary, as I was saying, I really think that you need to take more precaution when you are running.
I will.
So that we don't have to figure out what we do with your body when you're dead.
What do you want to do with your body when you're dead?
Dark leap.
I don't care.
You don't care?
When I'm dead? No.
You really
You have
don't?
no like preference?
Between buried or cremation?
Well, there's other options.
I mean, I think if
Or
I
the egg
chose,
with the pod?
if I chose, I would rather be cremated. But I mean, I'm dead, so what do I care?
So I was always thinking that I would want to be cremated, but then I just had another idea. I want to do a burial at sea.
Like Vikings?
Like where they light you on fire?
No, they're just going to dump me into the ocean.
Like just your body?
Would not want
I don't
that.
like that.
But why
No.
not your ashes?
No, I want full body.
But then you're just going to be eaten.
Yeah, like a little snack for the fish.
Yeah. I mean, I guess,
Actually,
like I
that's
said,
probably
you're dead.
better.
It doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
You're
it
right.
just seems
That's
kind of gruesome.
Feeding the fish instead of
Yeah.
your ashes, and then the people eat the fish, and then someone's actually eating you.
And then you come
and then
back to
there's
life.
a little bit of Megan and everybody.
Yeah.
You know, you can also turn your ashes into a diamond.
Well, I have
I've
thought about that.
That would be
seen
cool.
that.
And then I have seen people who, Zoe, this might interest you, cremate themselves. Well, not themselves, but they are cremated.
Why would that interest
No,
me?
the next part's going to interest you. And then they have someone who's in charge of feeding a little bit of their ashes to their cat every day.
No.
Poor
No.
chicken.
That's weird.
Why?
Chicken's eating Zoe.
I don't want that to happen.
Just sprinkle a little on top
Yeah,
of this
that's
food
so
every day.
weird.
Yeah.
No, that makes no sense.
Or I guess like if you have kids or something, they could like eat it like Fun Dip every day.
Oh my God. That's so
no.
gross. What? Like you? That's
licking.
disgusting.
It's like a big sugar stick. You dip it every day, like a little bit of mom every day.
Oh my God.
Oh, you're taking some of dad today? I'm going to get a little hit of mom. What are some other
I
weirds?
like the
Okay,
egg
so I guess I
one.
do care a little bit about how.
What's the egg?
Put into the egg, and you're put really deep in the ground, and then you grow into a tree.
Oh, that's cool.
Am I still a full body?
Yeah, you're like tucked in, like a little, like your legs are tucked in,
Like
and
a
you're-
fetal position?
Yeah, you're like in the womb.
Is that what they consider human composting, or is that different?
I don't. That might be different.
What's human composting?
I just saw that a few states passed human composting as legal, and what it does is it's supposed to reduce the carbon footprint of your body. So they put you in a box that is biodegradable, and I guess over a certain period of time, your body and the box like turn back into soil, and it just like replenishes the land. So it's in conservation areas, and it just like you return to the earth.
So many things surprises me about that. First of all, why is that not already what we do?
I know.
Like,
We're
why
not
do we
allowed.
use coffins?
I know.
But why? And why does that have to be legal? You're
You know
already
what I'm-
burying bodies.
I'm wondering if it's the chemicals, like
Yeah.
the embalming fluids can't
Yeah.
leak out into the like water supply. and
You
stuff.
have to be buried in a coffin or cremated. Like
Right.
there's laws. You can't just be buried in the yard in a box.
Because I guess the
Weird. I didn't know
human
that.
composting, there's probably no chemicals in you. It's just like a natural.
Okay, but yeah, how come we don't do that?
I know. That
Why
does
do we
seem
embalm
better.
people just for like looking at them after they're dead?
Yeah.
People want their bodies to like stay around for some reason.
Well, and it's for like the like viewing. Before
Yeah,
the
but why do
funeral.
people do that? I hate that at a
That's
funeral.
Yeah,
so-
it's weird. Why do we need to
it's
see a dead
weird.
body?
I never want to see because I've been to many funerals of loved ones, and that was always been a very traumatic thing for me.
Yeah, and then you just picture them like that.
exactly,
Yeah,
and I don't
like
want
it.
to remember people that way because
Yeah.
it's not what they look like.
Yeah.
It makes way more sense to compost their bodies.
I like this idea. I think it's great.
Yeah, and then you're part of the earth again. It's a circle of
Exactly.
life. If you're
Yeah.
embalmed, put in a coffin and buried, and you're just
Right.
nothing.
Right.
Is it allowed in Tennessee yet?
no, of course not. It's all the cool states.
Portland. Is that a state?
Oregon,
That's a city.
Washington, California.
What city is Portland in? Zoe?
Oregon.
Good job.
Let's have a geography quiz.
Seattle.
Okay, well maybe bury me in a state where you can compost me or turn me into a tree. I really like
Yeah,
that.
I like
That's
the
cool.
tree thing.
I mean,
That's
I'm
cool.
sure Oh, that's cool. It's probably super expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I bet is also stupid? I bet it costs more to compost your body
Oh yeah, you'd have to
than
fly
to
it
embalm
there.
it.
I'm sure
Put
it's
it in
really
an
expensive.
expensive casket.
It's what rich hippies do.
Yeah. It should be like free.
It should totally be free. Well, the tree thing. I read an article recently about this tree that owns itself. So the city cannot cut it down. I know. You just reminded me of this when you said turn into a tree. But there is a tree somewhere, and I wish I remembered where. I could Google this really quick. Look up the tree that owns itself.
Okay.
But apparently, like, there was a tree. They didn't want it to be cut down. They signed over the rights to the tree, and now they can never cut it down. But then it
Weird.
fell down. They replanted an acorn that turned into the son of the tree that owns itself. It's a whole thing. Where is it, Megan? Have you found it?
Yeah, it's close by. It's in Georgia.
And what's it called? Like, it's called something like that, right?
The tree that owns itself? Yeah. It's a white oak tree that, according to legend, has legal ownership of itself and all land within 8 feet of its base, also known as the Jackson oak.
Well, you know what would be weird if you did the turn myself into a tree thing is that then it would be like people would probably like sue and things over like that's my mom, like you can't you can't
Right.
cut down that tree. Or like imagine like if you know like Tom Hanks decided that's how he wanted to be buried and then people would come like look at that tree and be like it's the Tom Hanks
it's Woody.
tree.
Yeah. They'd be like, look, I've got a branch of Woody.
Yeah.
That'd be a great way for
I think
Tom
you'd have
Hanks
to you'd
go.
almost have to do it like secretly.
Yeah.
Otherwise people are gonna like worship these
No,
trees.
it could still be like a cemetery, but a forest.
That would be way cooler than a
forest of
cemetery.
trees.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that'd be
And they
creepy.
actually,
A
the
little
egg
plaque.
one, their plan is to put GPS things with the pod so that you can find the tree that you planted for the.
I don't like
for
this
your-
actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I live in a forest and I have 5 acres of just trees, and imagining that they all have like plaques with souls attached to them. I don't like this idea at all.
But what if it is like more of like a cemetery, like not where you would not like at your house, like it would just
okay,
be like
but they reproduce. Plants do. So like you would have seeds that fall and are replanted. So you'd have like
thousands
grandchildren
of little
trees.
Christians.
yeah, but that's fine.
Is it
Yeah, that's not connected to the person.
the body?
No, I mean your body is
your
Your
ash?
body is not actually connected either. Your body just turned into dirt.
But
Your
this-
body's not actually
Your
the
body's
tree.
just the soil.
But
Yeah.
okay, but if your spirit stays near your body, and then you're like,
No,
you
your
have
spirit's
seeds
moved on.
that go
Your
out
spirit is
into
not
the
staying in the dirt
into the
this-
nether regions. I don't want anyone's bodies coming on my property in tree form. That would freak me out so
some
much.
of the trees have like little teeth in them.
Right, this is like giving me
That would be
another
the
thing to
same.
One of
freak
them
out
starts
about.
growing hair.
That'd be the same as like composting, though. They
Yeah.
composted your body; things are going to grow from it.
Yeah.
Also, the worms are going to eat it, and other things in the ground.
gotta
Water
think
will
about
come
this,
and erode
yeah.
part of it. It's just dirt. Your body just becomes dirt.
Maybe I just want to be cremated.
Cremated? I thought you
It's the
didn't want to
same.
be
Think of
cremated.
like I use compost in my garden.
Oh my God, then you'd be eating yourself. Well,
Right.
not you, but, like,
also, but I mean, like my compost is made of a million different things, and I'm not like worried about being like, oh, like last year's pumpkin shell is in here. You know, like, it's just dirt at that point.
Okay, well, I don't know. I have to think about it.
I would like to be frozen. Because then what if they could bring me back?
Do you want to come back
You don't
with
wanna come
all of
back.
us?
I think Walt Disney is frozen.
With all of us? Are y'all coming back too?
No, you. Do you want to come back without all of us?
What if there's something better out there?
Well, that's just rude.
I mean, I'm ready to be done now. Like, let's just not
that's
now,
rude,
not now. But I'm just saying, like a normal lifespan, I'm good.
No, I'd like to come back in like 200 years.
No, you would.
And just have a whole new family and
Well, I mean, that would just be part of it. It's not like I'm choosing it. That would just be, you guys would be choosing to not come with me.
I feel like you would just be. It would be such a shock
Yeah.
to your system. You wouldn't even understand how to process the world
be
200
interesting.
years from
But
now.
the Sanderson sisters were very clearly not of their time.
Well, yeah, but if this started happening, I wouldn't be the first one. So they would have
there would
like
be a support group.
they
of
would
people
have like
that were.
yeah.
It'd be
There
you
would
and
be like
Elon
a
Musk.
process for it. Like you'd go into some kind of shelter where you know, like that you learn to
come
live.
back and live in a shelter.
Yeah, like just for like a adjustment period. Like while you kind of get on your feet and you figure out how life is going 200 years from
There's
now.
no way this country will be standing in 200 years.
But
So
whatever,
I doubt your little like frozen.
but whatever forms in its place.
Just kidding. The country will still be standing.
Okay, this listener says, I have an aunt whom I love that's always sending me quote unquote fake news articles. She finds these on the internet and Facebook and then forwards them to me. I want to respond kindly because I appreciate her attempts at keeping in touch. Should I try and tell her that the quotes and quote unquote facts she sends me are BS?
Well, how close are you to the aunt? Do you really care about the relationship?
And I think you said you appreciate her trying to stay in touch. So, I mean, my philosophy on this is why rock the boat? If you know it's BS, but you still appreciate her getting in touch, maybe this is just the only way she knows how to connect.
Yeah,
But-
respond to the emails. Hey, how are you? Oh my gosh, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
But
I
the
agree.
flip side of this, I agree practically, like in my real life, but the flip side is if everyone could credibly check their relatives, maybe we wouldn't have.
But they won't listen. We all have
Right,
those people
yeah.
who send us these articles, and when you send the other article disproving that, they ignore you.
They think
Right.
you're the crazy
They
one.
won't
I
read
know.
it.
It turns into more of
So-
an argument.
It does. I mean, I agree. I'm just saying, like, societally, I wish that we could have more discourse among people that we respected and listened to instead of just outright dismissing it. But I mean, I agree. Yeah, they're not going to listen.
Right.
I've had all the
Nobody-
conversations
They could try
with
that
people.
the first time.
They
Yeah.
choose what news they listen to.
Well, and nobody's going to change their mind because their niece gave them some groundbreaking information.
Right.
People just believe what they believe.
Yeah.
To me, this sounds like probably an aunt that lives further away, and this is how she communicates with her niece. And I think, like Zoe said, I would respond by being like, "Oh, I'm so glad to hear from you. Like, how's Bob doing? What's your garden like whatever." Just change the
Yeah.
subject and not respond to the actual thing she sends. And if maybe she presses the issue, you could say like, "Oh, that's really interesting. I read this article," or like try to say it in a way, or like ask her a question that makes her like dig a little deeper into her thoughts, but not unless she's pressing it.
Yeah, and maybe just use your time elsewhere. You know, make sure you vote. Make sure you're donating to the right campaigns or whatever causes you champion. You know, instead of arguing with relatives, just do something that might make a difference.
For every fake news article she sends, donate $1 to your favorite charity.
There you go.
Yeah. And just don't engage.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just going to make you crazy and
Yeah.
hurt your relationship.
Yeah.
Just ignore.
She's likely old and set in her ways, so.
Yeah. And if you like communicate with her enough, maybe she'll put you in her will.
Oh, goodness. All right. Another question. This listener says, I have a bad habit of taking on too many responsibilities at work. I like to be busy and I'm a people pleaser. However, over the years, I've taken on too many tasks and many things I'm not compensated for. How can I start taking things off my plate?
I read something the other day that I liked. Someone said they've started saying, my plate is as full as I'd like. And they just kind of leave it at that. Like they, instead of taking on or saying yes, they just say, my plate is as full as I'd like.
What's the corporate way to say that? I don't have the bandwidth for this right now.
Yeah.
She should just say
Well,
no. She needs to learn a boundary and say no.
But I think she already has these things
Yeah, she's
on
already
her
taken it
plate,
on.
and she needs to get some off. She's doing more than what she's getting paid for. And
It's at a job?
yes,
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And she said that she's doing more than what she's compensated for, and she needs to. What'd she say? She needs to take things off her plate. So it's not. I mean, she probably does have an issue, and yes, she needs to learn to say no. But the current issue is that she needs to not be doing those things that aren't technically her job.
Sadly, I've been in this situation before at work, and you have to really prove your case. I had to bring data to the VP and show that I was doing the work of 3 people, if you look at metrics, and finally they hired someone else. So sadly, like sometimes in those positions, you have to have data on your side and just go talk to your boss and say, like, here's the reality. I'm one person. I can only do this for so long before I burn out, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think that's great. And different jobs, different, ways of doing that as well. Or, in some jobs, you might even be able to go to someone and say, hey, I need someone to do this. Or go to your boss and say, like, hey, I've realized I've been doing this, even though it's not technically my job, but I no longer have the bandwidth for this. So it needs to be delegated to someone else.
Yeah.
And it is, I totally get this person because I am 100% this person. I am a people pleaser. And I worked with a teacher once who was so good at work-life balance and at saying no. And I was like young at the time and newer at my job and terrible at that. And she would always joke with me that she would hold a plate and she'd say, "This is my plate. It has 3 things on it and the rest is nice and empty. And your plate, Hillary, you're walking around picking up things off people's plates that they're dropping and adding it to your plate."
Yeah,
Which-
you can burn out so
yeah.
easily doing that.
And I often visualize and think about that when I find to myself taking on too much.
Yeah, I think just being aware of what your cup can hold and not letting it overflow and just speaking up for
You
yourself.
have a nice balanced plate, balanced cup.
Yeah, exactly. Plates and cups. Make sure they're all balanced.
Yeah, I agree.
You can do it. You can say no.
Definitely.
You got this.
Do we have time for one more question?
Of course. Prior to the pandemic, I felt like I was always busy, active, seeing friends, going out. I had tons of energy. I would go to the gym, go to parties. But post-pandemic, I seem to have lost all of that energy, and I'm wondering how to get it back.
Did I write this?
I think everybody is suffering from this post-pandemic. It's
I
hard
agree.
to like get back into regular life and going
Guys,
out.
it was
and
like we've said before, it was like whiplash. Like
Yeah.
the last 3 years have been whiplash for everyone. And I think we were all able to like chug through it at the time, you know, like we were just like on this journey and we had to get through day to day. And now that we're back in real life, we're kind of processing everything that happened. And it's hard to like get back into your good routines and habits sometimes.
well, processing everything that happened, but then also I feel like there's still always the fear that it could go back. Because like you still always think, okay, well maybe next weekend COVID numbers are gonna be up and we're gonna be on lockdown again. So it's hard to like really go back to how it was and just feeling like you have full safety going out anywhere, anytime, making plans.
Yeah. Or I mean, could there be another virus that comes like this could happen again? I mean,
Yeah. Or it's just even like people being sick now, I think everyone looks at differently, which is good in some ways. But then also in other ways, it's just like there are times that if you have a little cold, you can go out, but nobody wants to see you now if you have a little cold. So it's
Me,
just
I
hard.
don't want to see you
Yeah.
with a little cold. I look at this question 2 ways. I think because she says she wants her energy back. I think if it's like just getting into a good routine of like getting up at a decent time, getting ready for work or working out and getting like your regular chores done, then that just is it's hard and it just takes like practice and consistency and maybe setting like little rewards for yourself. But the other part of me is like, maybe you don't even want the prior
Right.
energy back. Like, I think I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of back to my pre-pandemic life.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself that when we were deep in the pandemic and we weren't going to all the parties and extracurriculars and go, I was so appreciative of my time at home. And we said so many times, let's never go back to that go mentality. Let's treasure this time at home and have more movie nights and more board game nights and more fort building or whatever it is. And I have to remind myself, I feel like none of us should go back to that full life we were in.
Right. Overscheduling.
Yeah,
It's okay
I
to
agree.
step back, take a break, and not be so on the go.
overscheduled and overstimulated and doing
Yeah.
things for other people's benefit and not your own.
Yeah.
And it's hard to not do that. I know like Kristen and I with kids and they want to be doing all the extracurriculars and you're so busy after school and you have homework and parties and it's so much.
Yeah.
And
It can be a lot.
I'd like
You
to cut back.
Yeah, you have to find the balance and I think really weigh what matters to you and invest in those things. You may be investing in 5 things instead of 20 like you were before, but you can put more time into those 5 things. That's kind of how I'm looking at it, where I feel like my attention was maybe on 20 things before and now I'm trying to be more selective. Like I know I can't go full pandemic mode where I'm not doing anything, but like maybe
Yeah.
it's 5 things and I try to do those things well.
Right. Yeah. There's nothing saying that you have to be doing 100%.
But even
all the
people,
time.
I mean, like I just can't invest in as many people anymore because it just, I don't know. You're like, for me personally, like my quality of life felt like I was overscheduled. So I am investing in like fewer people, but like more time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
So I don't know. You just have to make decisions about how you want to spend your time
Yeah.
and whatever you
And if-
decide is fine.
If you are happy with not being the same person you were before the pandemic, then
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You don't have to go back to that.
Nothing wrong with change.
Yeah. And if you're veering too far off course, just correct yourself. Like, this is a good wake-up call for you to just correct a little bit.
Yeah. Do what feels good.
Is that our official advice?
That's our official advice. Do what feels good.
For
If it
all questions.
Yeah, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. That's my take on life. Do what feels good.
That's hedonism.
No,
But sometimes working out doesn't feel good. You should still do it.
but it feels good after.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a payoff.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do what feels good and also do what is good for you.
Yes.
I watched the Jonah Hill documentary with his psychiatrist. I think it's called Stutz last week or this week. And he was saying, his psychiatrist was saying that basically of all of his patients, 75% saw an immediate improvement in their depression and anxiety symptoms by working out consistently. And he said that there is something to that. There's like not being a gym rat, but like, and it's not about losing weight or anything like that, but it does help your energy levels and get you out of like a depression or anxiety kind of ridden state.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
If you're struggling with that, maybe taking Stutz's advice would be a good start. And then you can brainstorm how to get everything else on track.
All right.
Great questions this week, guys.
I think we've been as helpful as we can be this week.
Thank you for all your questions. We love reading them, seeing what we get sent. We appreciate all of you and our followers so much. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Sisters Not Saints Podcast. Send us your anonymous questions to sistersnotsaintspodcast.com.
No, don't send them there.
Okay.
We won't get them. Instead, send them to sistersnotsaints.com.
That's what I meant.
Maybe we should buy the other one too, though.
Maybe. You can email us at sistersnotsaintspodcast@gmail.com as well. Don't forget to rate and review us if you love us. And have a great week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.